So like most kids from the inner city, F1, when I was growing up, felt like this sport that existed way over there. It was something that was on TV, it was something that wasn't really connected to me or anybody that I grew up with. And then I found myself weirdly in, of all places, Monaco with work. And it was race season. And there was a race happening literally just there. Wherever you went, you felt the track, you felt the energy, you felt the people, you felt the culture of F1. And changed me forever. I think one of the things I find most exciting about Formula One is the speed that these cars are traveling at. When you see it, it's one thing, but if you're actually there and you feel those cars rumbling by you, it's unlike anything I've ever experienced before. I would describe Aston Martin's style as the complete polar opposite to mine. I've sort of found my feet while people have been watching in terms of how I dress and how I present myself, because I've been on camera since I was 8 years old, whereas Aston Martin has always been quintessentially British, I guess. The style of Aston Martin has been understated and cool, undeniably, for as long as I've been alive, whereas I've sort of done this, and I think I finally hit my stride, minus the moustache maybe. Describing my style is a very difficult thing to do because I don't really have a style, I just dress how I feel. But at this point, I'm sure a lot of you are thinking, bro, your style's terrible because of this. I've grown an isolation moustache and everyone in my life is telling me to get rid of it. Because it's winding people up, I'm keeping this thing. So feel free to comment, get rid of the tash or keep it. I'm keeping it. I feel like Hercule Poirot. I can't even curl it. Winning is such a strange concept because it's all relative, isn't it, right? And describing how I feel when I win is a bit of a weird thing to try and articulate because I rarely feel like I win these days. For me, winning isn't really something that I focus on. What I am focused on is how I feel, and genuinely feeling good and feeling that I make people that I care about and even strangers feel good is really important to me. Sport has always been a huge part of my life as a spectator, not necessarily as somebody who partakes. Formula One is definitely one of those sports that I've never competed in. But the minute that Lewis Hamilton became Lewis Hamilton in the eyes of the world, it felt as though Formula One was a little bit closer and a little bit more possible, because to see somebody that looked like me achieving what they were doing in Formula One, it instantly made me think, wow, if my little brother or my little sister or anybody in my world told me that they wanted to be involved with racing, I'd have someone to point to.